All right, music fans, welcome back. It is the Harmless One here, talking real music in real time for real people just like you right there, just like me right here. Um, the other day was kind of like a bombshell of news with the possibility of a reunion between Mick Fleetwood and Lindsey Buckingham. And I'm assuming that means an actual Fleetwood Mac reunion, although that's been debated, but it's kind of now being widely reported that this could actually occur. And I think it's pretty interesting news. I mean, you got to admit, even if you're sort of just past this now because of all the water that went under the bridge, and some of that water was kind of rough and choppy and not very attractive, like saying that, there was casual chemistry between Neil Finn and Stevie Nicks on stage. By the way, when we talk Stevie Nicks, we talk about the true owner of this band to some degree. She may not own the rights to the name and so forth, but she basically calls the shots. But Mick Fleetwood says, I've really enjoyed being reconnected with Lindsey. And he's been gracious and open. When was Lindsey Buckingham not gracious and open? Even when he was getting kicked out of this band, I think the biggest question he had for everybody is why? And then as time went on, we found out it was because he was mocking his former girlfriend and bandmate at the Music Cares event by smirking and not being respectful. And that was the last straw. Not the stuff that happened back in the late 70s. That wasn't the last straw. None of the stuff that's happened, prior to that was the last straw. I get it. People get older. They get set in their ways. They get tired of dealing with a certain thing over and over again. But I'm thinking, here's a paycheck to happen if they decide to ever get back together again. And I did videos back when this was all happening saying, what a great marketing strategy. So you get rid of Buckingham and then you bring him back because that will create drama, that will create interest. The only problem are these continuous lockdowns where, concerts get scheduled, then they get canceled. And then you've got a fan base, by the way, that has been scared to death by this. So they don't want to chance anything. And even if you take your magic injection, there's no guarantee that you're going to be safe. Although there are some states that are starting to, lighten up a little bit on all of this stuff. And people want to go back outside. They want to do things again. So, Mick Fleetwood says strange things can happen. So I think what this really is about in the end, when he says that they've both been beautifully honest about who they are and how they got to where they are, I think they're discussing their relationship with Stevie Nicks. I think knowing both sides of the story, knowing the difficult position maybe Mick Fleetwood was in, but how he went full steam ahead. And he said some things that obviously were just weird based on what Lindsey Buckingham had done for that band and really continues to do for that band. Their catalog wouldn't be their catalog without Lindsey Buckingham, his production, his input, his musicality, just the things that he brings, those intangibles I think I was talking about, his guitar work, which is so underappreciated and underrated. I wish one of these guitar guys on YouTube would do a segment on Lindsey Buckingham and just his very unique style, which really gives Fleetwood Mac, especially in their heyday, and I would say from 75 to about 82, and Tango is a great album too, but those times, like the late 70s, and his input and his playing style really just defined that band and gave them a very unique sound. this is why saying, hey, Mike Campbell, he's good. Yeah, he's a good guitarist. And I was saying this all along. He's a good guitarist. He just doesn't belong in Fleetwood Mac. Neil Finn, a great singer, a decent songwriter, doesn't really mesh well with Fleetwood Mac. He comes from this sort of New Zealand, Australia kind of pop new wave sound, and it just isn't Fleetwood Mac. It's different. And no matter how many ways you try to explain that to people, they just think, well, music is music and he can adapt. Well, I heard him up there singing, and he just doesn't bring the emotion and the passion. He's doing a good fill-in. Like if you had a substitute teacher and you would say, okay, that sub was pretty good, but bring back the normal teacher, please, soon, because I was learning much more from that teacher. That teacher had an authenticity and was grounded in this music. And I think Lindsey Buckingham alluded to that, saying that, hey, we're all in this together. We created this legacy, and it's just weird how the band would toss it away. Well, they tossed it away because their management said, we've got a tour and we've got a solution and we should try this, and we'll make it like, this is all kind of playing off the all-star band, like a Ringo Starr concept, where we put some names on the marquee and we go, okay, these people don't really fit in, but they have fans. They'll draw people in. There'll be a curiosity factor. It kind of worked because, Mick likes to boast about how great the last tour was, and they were selling tickets. But the naysayers were saying, they're closing off this part of the arena, and yeah, they filled up the side that they opened and so forth. And there was a little bit of chicanery going on there with the numbers, but I'm sure they all made enough money, and that was probably going to be the last tour, especially based on what Christine McVie has been saying about herself and about John McVie. But with Lindsey in the picture, this might open up an opportunity for one more go around, and they really should end it with Lindsey in the band. The whole thing comes down to if Stevie Nicks will do it. That's the key. And if she doesn't do it, I don't think there's the enthusiasm. And as much as I'm not a huge Stevie Nicks fan these days, I do believe that you have to have Stevie Nicks in this group in order to actually do it. My guess is she may just say, no, it's too risky. She doesn't want to risk her health going out there. And quite honestly, I think she parted ways with Lindsey, and I'm not sure if that relationship can be repaired. To me, that looks like a permanent divorce, but we'll see. It's all interesting stuff. And, I'm doing a little bit of speculating here because that's what I do. Again, want to thank all the patrons for coming over to the channel, people who supported the channel last month. We've been going through some interesting times here, holding our breath and walking on eggshells and doing all that fun stuff. Hopefully we get through it and we just keep going because that's what I love to do. In any event, thanks again, and I'll see you soon.